Raw Loaf, where we're looking at the August 13th, 2018 edition of Raw. And it started off with a roller coaster, a little bit too late for the thrill ride if you ask me. But Ronda Roller Coaster Rowdy comes out and she's all smiling and waving, and then she gets in the ring and she's all sad. And then Alexa Bliss shows up and she gets so angry. And then Alexa Bliss says some not so nice things about Ronda Rousey, and Ronda gets a little sad again. And then all of a sudden she's angry. It's like a roller coaster. Ronda Roller Coaster Rowdy. By the way, Alexa Bliss did an amazing rendition of Ronda Roller Coaster Rowdy's main face. So since Kurt Angle, of course, won't do what Alexa wants him to do, she goes and talks to Constable Corbin and he says, get a security team. So she goes and gets these 4 big dudes. One of them looks like mini Braun Strowman or Braun Strowman Jr. And she lines them up in front of Ronda and her. And the roller coaster goes up the ultimate thrill ride and rides down. And she throws 3 of the dudes who are like 3 times her size. And then the 4th guy, not to stereotype anything here, but he played the black guy in a horror film because that was pretty horrific to watch. So I'm going to say it was a horror type situation. And he ran away, which that was not the only time a black guy ran away in a scary situation on the show. But all of this was to set up Ronda Roller Coaster Rousey introducing her friend Ember Moon, because she's about to take on Alexa Bliss. And Alicia Fox is there with Alexa. Now, if there's one thing that I've noticed on Raw that you can't really miss it, WWE doesn't want their commercials to run during the commercial breaks. I mean, they've been doing it for a while now. But if you watch what's going on in the ring while the commercial is playing, you can see why they're choosing that time to play the commercial. And everybody always praises, oh, Ember Moon is such a great wrestler. Well, geez. Did you not see how terrible of a wrestler she is in this match? She runs the ropes and she runs over to Alexa, who's on her knees, and she jumps down, puts her arm around her, and then falls backwards. So she went. There's a lot of great wrestlers out there that have been known for not wasting any movement, and Ember Moon is not one of them. So Ember Moon finally gets the upper hand, hits the Eclipse, was gonna pin Alexa, but of course Alicia Fox gets in there and breaks up the pin. Everybody gets mad. The roller coaster comes rolling in there and cleans the ring. Next we get a Lesnar recap from the week prior. They show part of the interview that Renee Young did, except this week they show the exclusive, what they didn't show last week for some reason, so they could show it this week. Is when he said, unless. And then for the next 2 hours, we get to wonder what that meant. And don't worry about me sweating, alright? It's hot in here, and I don't want to run well, there is no air conditioning. I don't want to run no fan. I'm not going to wipe myself with a rag. This is wrestling, and if you are going to be fake about things, go be fake somewhere else, because this is wrestling, man. So Seth Rollins is unreachable, like, all night long. We find out later why, but we get about 3 or 4 segments of Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. If you didn't notice, their names start with D&D, so I'm going to call them Dungeons and Dragons from now on, because they actually could make a good little Dungeons and Dragons team. But Kurt's freaking out all night because he can't get a hold of Seth, and for whatever reason, if Seth doesn't sign the contract before Raw's done, the match is not going to happen, and it would be impossible. I guess I've never heard of this stipulation before, but let's remember next year that if they don't sign their matches by the end of the Raw before SummerSlam, I guess they don't get to have a match. So the next match we have is Baron Corbin and Tyler Breeze, who I got to see at NXT Las Vegas a couple weeks ago, which was pretty awesome. In the front row, I was second row. In the front row, there were 4 people that I don't think stood up the whole time. And then when Tyler Breeze came out, he came running around. I was like, I gotta be rude. You guys aren't standing, you're in the front row. I gotta be rude. So I stood up, put my arm around. Tyler Breeze went, whoa, bah! And I was like, oh, what an awesome night. I took this picture of Tyler Breeze that night. It was awesome. And my favorite thing about this whole appearance by Tyler Breeze is that he got to come out to his own music and do his own thing. It was no mix and match of 2 musics that doesn't really make any sense other than C-Foss is lazy or WWE doesn't have money or I don't know. But whatever. We got to see classic Tyler Breeze or vintage Tyler Breeze, I guess you would say. And it was awesome. But too bad he lost to a deep 6 that looked like it should have scrambled his brains. Baron Corbin caught him bouncing off the ropes and he spun like a bat out of a bell. So after this match, Baron Corbin had to make the announcement of who Finn Balor was gonna face next. And then it was Jinder Mahal. And Jinder Mahal comes out. Oh, what a match this could be. Jinder Mahal facing Finn Balor. But then Baron Corbin goes, no, this is gonna be a handicap match. Brings out Kevin Owens. And then Baron Corbin's like going up the ramp. And of course, Kurt Angle comes out right before Baron Corbin's about to leave. He goes, oh no, this ain't gonna be no handicap match. This is gonna be a tag team match. And he named Braun Strowman as Finn Balor's tag team partner. I would have loved it if this would have just kept going, because I think it could have gotten to the point where it was just silly. Stephanie McMahon could have come out and said,
oh no, this is gonna be a lumberjack tag team match.
And then Triple H comes out and goes, the game. And we're gonna have a cage lumberjack tag team match. And then if they get out of the ring, they can throw them back in the ring. Except if their feet hit the floor. And then Vince McMahon could come out. And Vince McMahon could say, this will be a... Okay, you get the point. And then during this match, it was they did announce that there were tickets still available to NXT TakeOver for Brooklyn. And then during this match, they showed a little promo package during the match, which guess what? There was like a headlock or something going on. But it was like, oh, are they showing NXT some love because they want to sell the tickets, or are they just showing NXT some love? At one point during this match, Braun Strowman was going nuts. He was like, but the crowd wasn't catching on. I think it was because they didn't know what he was doing, because I didn't know. And of course, as you could have called it, as the sun is going to come up in the morning, Braun Strowman gets the power slam in for the win. And congrats to Braun Strowman and Finn Balor on their victory against Jinder Mahal and Kevin Owens. I had to take a deep breath there, because if you saw Seth Rollins sitting next to a Subway drink and a foot-long Subway meatball sub, I don't know why, but it was pretty funny. just think about it. There's Seth Rollins, and then there's a Subway cup, and then there's a foot-long meatball sandwich with about 6 or 8 meatballs in it. Hold on, I'll do this for you. Search on Twitter, search hashtag the raw loaf, hashtag Seth's meatballs, and I will have tweeted a picture. So after we saw Seth Rollins and his meatballs, we got to see Ricky Roberts, a up-and-coming country singer wrestler dude that wants to be just like Elias. And Elias is promoting his new wristband. What would Elias do? Which, if you can go to shop.com, you can buy it for $4.99. So Lashley has been interrupting Elias lately, and he does it again tonight, of course, before he can even sing a song. But Lashley goes out there and he's gonna have this match with Ricky Roberts, and Ricky Roberts hits him with the guitar, and then Lashley turns around and throws him on the mat, and we're done. So technically, Ricky Roberts did not lose to Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley did not beat Ricky Roberts. So can we really say that Bobby Lashley is better than Ricky Roberts? Perspective. So next up we have a TT triple threat tag team match between the Deleters, the Revival, and the B Team. And the B Team has been on it as of late, of course. They're the champions, and now they have to be in this match, which Bo Dallas was trying to figure out the math. Bo Dallas, your math has already been figured out by the one and only Scott Steiner. And Bo, if you haven't, and I think everybody watching this right now should tweet Bo Dallas and say, hey man, let's just all send him the Scott Steiner math video, because he was doing so much work for no reason. The rules of this match were a little weird. There were no countouts, but you only had 2 wrestlers in the ring at the time. Not the third. That I'm pretty sure I've seen a triple threat tag team match before, and don't quote me on this, because I'm not that big of a nerd. But I think they had one from each team in there. Maybe not, but that's what would make sense to me. And in this match, if you didn't notice, Matt Hardy took off his shirt, because I've been watching a lot of old wrestling lately, and like nobody wore shirts like ever. But nowadays, like half the wrestlers wear the shirts. But Matt Hardy took his off during the match because I guess he wanted to be like in he would be in Mid-Atlantic territory there in North Carolina. And then I heard Renee talk about me, but she never tweeted to me. So I don't know if when she said, "Ooh, with chops like that," and I was like, So Bray proved himself to be the monster of this match, which he should have been because he's the biggest guy. And then everybody ends up out at the ring, and then of course they do the superplex, which is always kind of blows my mind that whenever somebody superplexes somebody to the outside of the ring, just about every single time, every competitor in the match is there to get hit by the superplex. It's pretty amazing how that works. I haven't quite figured out how the wrestlers like know when to do it, but they get it done. And yeah, Matt Hardy superplexed, I think it was Dawson, onto everybody else, and everybody was out for a little while. And then they get back in the ring. Bray Wyatt gets the shatter machine put on him by the Revival, but Curtis Axel had tagged himself in right before that happened. And guess who remained tag team champions? Well, you don't have to guess, because if somebody remains the tag team champions, you'd already know who won. Congratulations, B Team. And then the B Team runs to the back and interrupts Roman Reigns' "I'm walking in the back" video segment, I guess, because normally, you get them in the back and they're walking through the ring, they're looking all tough, and then that's it. But he was walking in the back doing his thing, and then the B Team shows up for like 10 seconds, and then they show Roman Reigns walking again. Like, were we just gonna watch Roman Reigns walk around in the back for like 25 seconds? Where would he have gone? I feel like they would have ran out of space, because you never see anybody walking, usually for more than 10 seconds at a time. So we cut back to the D&D team with Kurt Angle, and they see the stipulation in there. If Drew McIntyre gets to be in Dolph Ziggler's corner, that means that Seth Rollins gets to have somebody in his corner. Dolph Ziggler's like, what? Kurt was like, well, if you get him, Seth gets somebody, or if you don't get him, Seth doesn't get anybody. And then the D&D were like, okay. So Roman Reigns is coming out to say some things about whatever, Brock Lesnar. And then he comes out and he stops at, we're about to the ring, and he's looking up. And the whole time I'm just thinking, is that Ted Theodore Logan? Because it looks just like Ted Theodore Logan. So Roman Reigns starts talking. He says he's gonna beat Lesnar so bad that he's gonna send him right back to the UFC with his head right up Dana White's. It's not there already. And I was hoping we weren't gonna hear about the unless thing from the interview where Heyman was like crying more than I'm sweating right now. I was hoping we weren't gonna see that until SummerSlam, but of course they get the setup, they need the payoff right away. So he's like, unless I got secrets. Or he should have been like, I got secrets on Brock Lesnar. If you want to know the secrets, sign with me, Roman Reigns. Oh my God. And then for the next like 5 minutes, he's trying to convince Roman Reigns to sign with him. Then he says something in Samoan that's not kefe ufa pipi, which means vagina. I mean, Roman was like, oh, this guy might have something for me. And then Paul Heyman goes, shh. One time I saw this guy after he had hit with the pepper spray, and he was, Fuke, my eyes, Fuke. It was hilarious, and this wasn't hilarious, so I don't think it was that strong a pepper spray. But then that gave the red carpet for Brock Lesnar to come out and do whatever he wanted to Roman Reigns. He beat him up. Then all of a sudden, we come back from commercial break, and we see Apollo, Titus O'Neil, Bobby Roode taking on Authors of Pain and Mojo Rawley, which I think could have been a pretty decent match. However, you would have not even realized that they were even in a match with how much they were focusing on everything else except the match. And the match right there that people were like beating each other with and all that stuff was like meant nothing. And then at the end, Bobby Roode got to pin Mojo Rawley, and they played the song Glorious, and that was it. It was like, I was like, why did they I'm so like stumbled upon that I'm just burping while I'm trying to like comprehend what I just saw, but I can't. And if you can, good for you. So if you were as observant as all the wrestling fans probably were, you did notice they didn't do any type of tribute to Jim the Anvil Neidhart at the beginning of the night. At first I thought they were trying to make it like extra special that Ronda Rousey was talking about him, but if you watched this package they put together, it looked like they put it together like extremely last minute, kind of like Chyna's, but they tried a little harder with this one. The voiceover guy, he made a couple errors when he was talking. The big one to me was, whenever you hear Bret Hart's name with his nickname, you always hear it as Bret the Hitman Hart. But the voiceover guy was like Bret Hitman Hart, and it sounded so weird to me. And then it kind of came together because it was mostly like pictures, and there was no special effects, and there was only, I think, that one interview clip of Bret Hart talking about Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and I was like, oh, that's why they played it so late. I think it was one of those like, hey, did you do the video? Oh, I thought you were gonna do it. Next up, we have Sasha Banks with Bayley going out to take Ruby Riott on and the rest of the Riott Squad, but it's really just a one-on-one match. When the Riott Squad came out, see, one of my favorite things in wrestling when they do it is they will play a promo from the person who's coming out in the entrance. Like Ruby Riott would have been like, when she was coming out, she would have been like, I'm back. They got back together all nice when things were right, but guess what? There's a riot now. Can they do it now? And then when they cut back to the ring, the Riott Squad was kind of like, they were on the ropes and they were just like finishing their pose, and it just looked weird. And it didn't have to look weird, but it looked weird. But it didn't have to look weird, but it looked weird. That was dumb. So almost immediately, we find out there is some love in this ring. The referee sees Sarah Logan try to physically trip Sasha Banks, but the referee doesn't eject Sarah Logan or disqualify Ruby Riott or anything like that. He just goes, no. And you know what? That referee is in love. And when you're in love, you shouldn't be a referee, because you make really bad decisions like that, and I hope we don't see him ever again, because the entire outcome of that match could have been changed if things were done right. And when you have referees that don't know what they're doing, who don't care about the rules, even though that's like the R in referee is the R in rules, they can do whatever they want and they can probably get away with it because they're in love. Okay, so Sarah Logan's young and athletic and successful, but guess what, guy? You have a job to do, and I am so sick and tired of love getting in the way of people doing their jobs. It's when you go to work and somebody's on the cell phone because their wife called them. I'm gonna talk to my wife. No, you don't. She just wants to know where you put the crackers because she needs to watch Oprah, and she can't watch Oprah without her crackers. So Everybody, if you can let me know who that referee is, I will make sure he gets fired. Nothing less for love. But he'll be happy anyway because he's in love, so whatever. So what is it with Sasha Banks and Bayley's like hands getting stuck in stairs? It happened to Sasha Banks tonight. She just like put her hand in the stairs, somehow got stuck. And then one of their NXT, I think it was a Brooklyn show. Don't make me look it up. I don't remember exactly when Bayley's hand got stuck like in between the stairs. I'm a nerd. Their hands get stuck in the stairs, and like I don't know. To me, it's like I feel like they probably as children got caught putting their hands in the cookie jars a lot, and psychologically speaking, they probably feel like they need to keep their hand in there because they know they need to be punished. So after about 69 million interferences later, the Riot Squad, Ruby Riot, gets a roll-up pin on Sasha Banks. And Sasha and Bayley are sat in the ring, and the Riot Squad, even though Ruby's face is kind of busted up from a kick or something, they're celebrating. So we get to the final segment of the night, and you know, it's the contract signing that if it doesn't happen right there in that very ring, we can't have an Intercontinental Championship match at SummerSlam. Kurt wants to first address that he doesn't want to suspend Brock Lesnar because he wants to see Roman Reigns kick his ass, bring that title back to Raw, and have a real Universal Champion. Kurt's talking about the Universal Championship like it's been around for decades. So Team Dungeons and Dragons comes out, and that's like I always say, the Split theme music kind of ruined my mood, but man, when Drew McIntyre started talking, he gave me like 69,000 boners, and then Dolph Ziggler started talking, and he gave me another 69,000 boners, so by the end of the two talking, I had like 690,000 boners, and then of course, Seth Rollins comes out, and he's like, I've been here all night, guys, just ignoring my phone calls, and if you want to know who's in my corner, because I wanted you to sign that first, because I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have. If you knew that Dean Ambrose was my partner, the lunatic. And then Dean Ambrose comes out, he's bigger, he's like, you know, I guess you got, when you go away for a while, you gotta come back bigger. But the most important thing is that, like, it was a big deal that Renee Young was a commentator tonight for the whole episode of Raw, right? But when Dean Ambrose came out, you didn't hear a word from her. Where did she go? I think what happened was that Dean scared her so much because he's a lunatic that she was like, oh my god, this is my first time commentator on a full episode of Raw. I can't ruin this, better not say anything. So the lunatic and the architect go out there. They clear the ring after, well, hold on, before that, Drew McIntyre picked up the desk and threw it out. That's pretty cool. But they cleared the ring, and they did the fists. They went, so thanks for watching the return episode of the Raw Loaf. I know it's been a long time, but I think I'm back this time. This has been a lot of fun. If you would like, I have a question of the month. My question of the month is, do you think wrestlers should wrestle in their t-shirts? So you can follow the Raw Loaf on Twitter at the Raw Loaf, or you can follow me at BLOFX. Believe it or not, the Raw Loaf still has a Facebook page. On Facebook, you can go like that. All the links are down in the description. And I appreciate your comments, your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for SmackDown.